This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter read-through. I'm your humble host Josh24214 and today we are going to be tackling chapter 292. It has been 2 weeks since the last chapter of 291 and a bit of a quick recap. We get a lot after the revelation of Dabi being Toya Todoroki. In the previous chapter, we get a little more on what happened from Endeavor's side of the story, of Endeavor's half of what happened with Toya and how he presumably died. And Endeavor brings up that the only remains of Toya was his jawbone, and apparently supposedly he burned in a fire for 2000 Celsius. But, well, we don't know what really happened with Toyo Todoroki. And at the end of that chapter, returning from the fast Quinjet that came down, we officially had confirmation that Best Genius has been alive this whole time. And he did not die from Hawks' assassination attempt. That assassination attempt was a bit of a setup, so Hawks could gain the trust of of the the League of Villains, so they could set up this whole war arc in the first place. And what are we going to get for chapter 292? Are we going to get more information on how Best Genius survived, or are we going to get any more information on Best Genius's presumed death? I mean, it was very convincing even for me. I thought he actually did die. So, Horikoshi, I hope you eventually explain all this nonsense. And also, yeah, last Sunday, not this previous Sunday, but the Sunday before, that night, yeah, I heard the news that we're getting a third My Hero Academia movie teaser. A teaser for all the official Twitter sites of Horikoshi saying, we're going to have a third My Hero Academia movie, and I am pretty excited, and it may come out hopefully next year, and hopefully Canada will get all vaccinated before then. Or maybe they'll have to delay the movie for another year, most likely. And when it does come out, I'll definitely go and see it. And also, before we start, I would like to clarify a bit of a goof off on the previous chapter that I didn't think about what the scene implied. That let's go back to the previous chapter for a bit when we got Mr. Compress saying that he said that there was a so another person came out of the open on their secrets of their lineage. So then I got to thinking after doing the previous recording, there is maybe another member with ties to Hero Society and becoming a supervillain, but but I didn't think about it at the time. So I can only I don't think it is Shigaraki telling the rest of his group saying that he's the grandson of Shimura. I don't think he would say that, as far as I know. For all we know, Mr. Compress could be talking about himself being connected to Hero Society, but we do know that, if I recall, Mr. Compress was just a entertainer before becoming a supervillain. Unless there's more to the origins to him. And I've been doing some thinking throughout those 2 weeks, and I think I may know, I'm just saying it as a theory right now, who is that other person? I would probably have to assume that it's Toga who's that second person. And after doing some thinking on who may be connected, after with some good evidence of seeing from comparing other characters who could be related and whatnot. I think Toga is related to Class 1B's Moneybags, who might be his sister, his long lost sister, who officially became the black sheep after all of Toga's shenanigans. Because I've been doing some thinking with the hair color in the anime, and they do kind of match up as far as I can tell from genetics. I can think of only two, either Moneybags or I Can't Stop Twinkling. That could be like her brother, and the brother doesn't even know that Toga's his sister. And yeah, that would be completely messed up, but I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong about this. But if that eventually is revealed that Toga does have a hero for a brother, I just want to say I freaking called it before this comes out. So enough with the delays. Let us dive into chapter 292 and hopefully we get some more information on how Best Jeanist survived. And also don't forget to wash your hands. We have to keep the count low as always. So let's dive into the chapter and see what new information we get. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. So, we start off the chapter like a couple of minutes from the previous chapter back on the Quinjet as we see Dobby's tape recording continues. We get our title drop of My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi, translation by Cabal Cook, and lettering by John Hurt, so it's not going back to J.H. So we get our proper chapter. We get chapter number 292 with Threads of Hope, and that's superly implied with Best Jeanist, I presume. And we continue where we were back a couple of seconds before Best Jeanist arrived, with Best Jeanist talking about while Tape Dobby is continuing with Best Jeanist saying, he wants to air his dirty laundry to the world, does he? Dobby, you fiend. You've been waiting for this moment. When they couldn't prevent mass destruction, and faith in heroes is waving. And we hear from the pilot saying, prepare for the airdrop, Jeanist, while he's dropping off those steel cables down. And Best Jeanist just simply answers, you will not get your way today. As he jumps out of the helicarrier, Iron Man style. And for the next two, in pages 2 and 3, we get a bit of one page of a 2-page spread of 1 page, as we see Best Jeanist arrive, wrapping up Giga, wrapping up Spinner, Mr. Compress, Dobby assumingly, with the Best Jeanist continues saying, because we shall weave a thread of hope. And there's your title drop right there. And we get our usual present Mike introduction, as always, was Best Jeanist quirk, Fiber Master. He could control any fiber at will. As we get everybody's reactions with Bakugo and Ida looking up. With Bakugo saying, missing person, huh? Yeah, right. As Dobby realizes his mistake, as Dobby reacts to this weird relevant new information, with Dobby saying, you're supposed to be dead. That corpse was real. And Best Jeanist interrupts saying, you overreacted, and now you're coming apart at the seams. Okay, that's a seams. Okay, that's a like cheap interior denim. Probably pants. Denim knows what that is. As we continue on page 4, we have Dobby trying to light up to burn the threads, with Dobby saying, so, So what if you're alive? That doesn't change the hard truths about my family past. And we see Shoto trying to charge towards Dabi with Dabi continuing saying, "Right, Shoto?" As we quickly cut away to Gigas just trying to get out of the his new bindings, thanks to Best Genus. As we quickly cut away to Mr. Compress, Spinner, and the unconscious Shigaraki with Mr. Compress saying, "Unthinkable. Giga's actually been pinned down." And Spinner interrupts saying, that hurts. I'm gonna crack." And Spinner continues saying, "Even Giga doesn't have unlimited stamina." And Best Genus is just trying to hold him on, saying, "Drip." As we cut to the next page, we go into Spinner's inner monologue, saying he's been out of breach since we made it here. He's been out of breath since we made it here, so maybe that sleeping drug is finally kicking in? And Spinner continues his inner monologue, saying, "And just after executing the last command he got." But we get Spinner trying to talk to Shigaraki, just saying, "Wake up, Shigaraki. You ain't dead yet, right? You gotta give the big guy an order." And we get into more Spinner's dialogue saying, I get it, Giga. You're a man who follows orders. Come hell to high water, and you can't go all out without a proper command." But before before Spinner could do anything, Hito Hado interrupts and comes in with Spinner continues saying, "After all, you still haven't destroyed a darn thing yet." And Hado's coming down, getting ready for an attack, so Spinner says, "Snap outta." As we cut to the next page, Hito's interrupted by a fire blast to the face. Okay, so yeah, she's got burned to a crisp by Dobby, but I thought it was Dobby, but no, it's by the artwork, it's Shoto doing the fire blast, with Shoto shouting, "No!" As Shoto continues saying, "Hado!" As Dobby interrupts saying, "Check it out, Endeavor. History's repeating itself. Another kid with a bright future all burned up." As we see Hida falling down from her burns. We're not sure she's not dead yet, but by the looks of things, she's only going to be slightly burned in one half. While we see Midoriya and Endeavor seeing this awful scene. As we get to the next page, we have Dobby finally burning through Best Genius's threads like butter, saying, with him finishing by him saying, "By your flames." With Shoto continuing, "Stop it!" As we quickly interrupt with Midoriya's inner monologue saying, "Move. Stand up. Push past the pain. Todoroki is suffering the most, and he's still fighting." And we quickly cut away to Best Genius coughing. And cough, cough. So Best Genius hasn't fully recovered yet. So probably from the fight with All For One, long way back with "Stop looking for excuses." If the number one hero loses here, this whole country's done for, and that's probably Best Genius' inner monologue. As we quickly cut away, we get another double page of one page. We quickly get a mini flashback to a particular house, and that is Shigaraki's house, with Shigaraki's inner monologue saying, "Itchy." With Shigaraki slowly waking up saying, "Stroy." And Spinner hears it. And Spinner just says, "Shigaraki?" And we have Shigaraki finally opening his eyes for at least from 3 chapters of unconsciousness, with in his inner monologue saying, "Gonna destroy. Must stop the itch." And we have Shigaraki giving an order saying, "Giga, destroy. And Giga hears that respond, and he's super, super excited, just screaming, yes! Yes! And yeah, now Giga's going to go full rip and tear on all of the heroes' asses as Giga's starting to burst out of Best Genius's threads. Snap, snap, with Best Genius's inner monologue continuing saying, a burst of power. As we quickly cut to page 8, as we don't see what's going on there, we pan away as we see random heroes are fighting even more high-end Nomus who are still alive, with a octopus high-end Nomu and don't know what kind of random crazy nonsense. As we see one of the random heroes starts a conversation with another one saying, we haven't taken down half of them, yeah? But we've also lost more than half of our own. And I think it's like 2 Nomus? 2 random high ends just stop for a minute, and I guess the next panel all the rest of the high end Nomus just basically run away. And while that weirdness is going on, we have Burning continuing saying, 4 broke away. They're heading for Shigaraki, so they're going to help Shigaraki and give the heroes some more trouble, with Burning continuing saying, are they teaming up and going after a new target? They've gotten more and more concentrated over the past half hour. So these high-end Nomus are basically getting to intelligent raptors levels of brain power. As Burning is going to go after one, while right behind her, a random hero saying, Burnin, as we see basically a giant dune sandworm of a high-end Nomu just about to go and have a feast on Burning, and Burning turns around and sees the dune sandworm, but strangely enough, the sandworm is randomly punched by someone, and it seems Burning is shocked by who's coming. I wonder who that is. And after that random scene happened, we quickly cut away to Giga trying to get out, while Best Genius is trying to contain him with his threads of those steel cables. With Giga saying, "Rah, grah, snap, 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 snap." And Giga's trying to still get out, and Best Genius is still trying to contain him, while in the smoke, we still get the continuation of Shoto versus Dabi in a huge, giant, awesome explosion. And I couldn't tell from the artwork until the next panel. So Shoto starts a conversation with Dabi, with him saying, "You really sent those villains our way? One of them almost killed Natsu," referring to Ending. And Shoto continues saying, "Remember him? The brother you cried to every day?" And Dabi just continues that interruption with a smile on his face, saying, "Almost killed? What a shame. That would have really hurt Endeavor." And Shoto just shocked by this, saying, "Are you freaking insane? Are you freaking insane? Are you fucking insane?" And Dabi just says, "Sure I am, Shoto. See your brothers not so big on feelings anymore." And yeah, Dabi's just basically going crazy at this point. While Shoto's still angry at Dabi, with Shoto saying, "Toya," as Dabi continues saying, "And now I get to kill you after all." As we quickly cut away to Mr. Compress, Spinner, Dabi, and Shigaraki, with Mr. Compress saying, "Look sharp, Spinner, behind you." Huh? And Mr. Compress saying, "It seems luck is on our side," as we see the 4 random high-end Nomus appear to go after Best Genius, and Midoriya sees it and saying, "Best Genius!" And on the next page, we get Midoriya's inner monologue saying, "Gotta move." And yeah, Midoriya's not going anywhere. With Midoriya's inner monologue goes full ham saying, in the midst of that power struggle, if anything breaks, Gina's focus, the giant's gonna break free. As we see Ida trying to carry the half-burnt body of Nita, as Midoriya continues in black silhouette saying, move already, float and black whip on my side. My busted limbs shouldn't matter at all. And we have Midoriya scream into the heavens saying, nobody's been saved yet. Don't be the old worthless Deku who can't save anyone. I gotta cover Genis's back. And yeah, it's referring to, yeah, Midoriya is not going anywhere, so he's just basically powerless at this point after going through ripping and tearing into Shigaraki chapters back. And that's the price for power, I suppose. Having too much power, you're bound to lose control. And without power, you wouldn't be able to defend anyone, let alone yourself. As we get on the next page, we get a double page of one page, and we see... Oh! God! No! What? What? Oh, Horikoshi, what are you doing? As we see, after Midoriya's little can't do anything attitude, a new player decides to slot his quarter into this fight. And guess who it is who decides to turn up? And we see this person phasing out of the ground, and it is Lemillion phasing out of the ground. Oh god, Horikoshi, what have you done, man? Lemillion is back, and he's got his power, his quirk back. And we have Lemillion phasing out from his fist and his face. And he says his famous, everybody's favorite catchphrase from him. Pow! And on the next panel, he finishes off with power! Just decks all four of the high-end Nomus, and he's full costume, and he's ready to fight again. And we see at the last panel of the chapter, we have Midoriya saying, Lemillion? And with his shocked face. And the next chapter will hit on December 6th, and that's 4 days from now. And yeah, Horikoshi, what have you done? Yeah, Lemillion coming back, that's a big shock. Nobody saw this coming. And yeah, this is the end of the chapter of 292. And I mean, Horikoshi, what have you done? Yeah, I know Lemillion is back, and that's awesome seeing him back in the fight, preparing to kick ass, but you didn't really explain why Best Jeanist is not dead, and now you added Lemillion into the pile of unexplainedness. How did he get his quirk back? I thought he permanently lost it. And, oh god, you know what? And I think I probably know what Horikoshi has done, and it's the one thing I fear. You used Eri's quirk, and she can now fully use it, right? Please tell me that you didn't do that. You didn't give Eri full access with no consequences. Because that is going to permanently bust this series for good if you're not careful. Horikoshi, you are treading on thin ice for me, man. But I know Horikoshi has always been a good writer, and he's always know how to keep power under control with having a bit of a downside to other people's quirks We've seen it thousands of times. It shouldn't change that much. But we all know, we were all kind of scared of something like this happening with Eri having full access and pulling this kind of stuff. So basically, you effectively made the quirk erasing bullets permanently irrelevant because we could basically undo that now if it was done by a bad writer. And I hope to God Horikoshi is not going to take a nosedive in bad writing quality and just saying, screw this, I'm cheating here, and you just effectively destroyed the series with that one decision, man. But I know Horikoshi wouldn't do something like this. He's probably gonna have to put a limit or something like that and give us a proper explanation. And whenever you, and I think I kind of maybe assumed that Horikoshi was on the same boat as I am, because other people who talked about Eri with chibi reactions talking about this, saying how this could that this Eri's just basically a MacGuffin at this point and just like a simple cheat hack for writers to cheat and just saying, oh, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to. Consequences be damned. Consequences are no more. We don't have to worry about any rising action or tension is permanently gone forever. We could just basically resurrect all the dead heroes and yeah. I know there's probably going to be consequences for Eri, and there's also another theory that Chibi Reviews brought up that maybe Chibi brought up maybe overhauls little modified eraser bullets had a bit of a limit or something like that. It's a good theory. I don't, but I really hope that's the case here. I'd be okay if that was the thing, like that Lemanium's just basically benched for at least like 6 months or something. Can't really tell how long that was. But yeah, Horikoshi, I hope you start explaining stuff with Best Jeanist and Lemanium hopefully in the next chapter or two, or 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 maybe let's make it worse. Let's try to break through as much as the thin ice as possible and add more questions to everything else. And with that, I can't wait for chapter 292 and hopefully 293 and hopefully we get some answers, Horikoshi. And Horikoshi, you're basically on thin ice here. So you better be freaking careful with your writing. So, yeah, if you're listening. So, this has been your humble host, Josh24214, and I will see you on the very next chapter reaction episode. So, till then, have a good day, everybody, and bye for now.